I've rounded up 15 of the best deals during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But there is one problem. Prices often change, so when you're seeing this, you might not see the same prices that I do. So how do we solve this? A tool called Camel. It tells you what price is a good deal on anything you're shopping, which also helps us know which deals are fake and not actually discounts. Deal number one is going to be our cheapest product, and it will increase along the way, starting with this mini ceramic blade. Now, because I review a lot of products, I open products and boxes pretty much every day, and I can confidently say that I also use this product every day because it's the best way to open boxes. You can see that little blade that's on the end of it right there. It's great because you can't cut yourself with it on accident, so it's nice and child safe, but it's also super sharp when opening boxes and does the job perfectly. It's currently sitting at $4.79 for me, but if we go ahead and look at Camel, the tool I was mentioning, this is the 1 year price history of it. This green line that you're seeing is the price that it's been throughout the last year. So you can see last December, this was somewhere around $5.75, we'll say. And recently, sometime in October, the price of this dropped down to $4.79, which is actually the lowest price it's been over the last year. So I would say if you can get this anywhere under $5, you're pretty much getting the best price this product has ever been. By the way, I'll also keep the description where I've linked all of the products updated with their current prices throughout the entire weekend of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you have a Dyson vacuum, you're gonna love product number 2 because this little gadget attaches onto the power button of your Dyson vacuum. Now, normally with a Dyson vacuum, you have to actually hold down the power button. There's no way of keeping it running, which I think is absolutely wild. So this gadget fixes that. It basically clips onto the power button and you can hold down that power button for as long as you want. The gadget basically turns on and off itself, which turns on and off the power being held down. For me, this one's currently sitting at $9.99, but over the last year, we've basically seen the price of this bounce between $9.99 and $7.99. So if you can get this at the $7.99 price point, you're getting the lowest price it's been over the last year. Product number 3 has been my favorite stain remover ever since I bought it, which you can see was in December of 2023, so nearly a year ago. It says it works like magic, and honestly, it really does. Essentially, all you need to do is whatever you have a stain on, get it a little bit wet as if you're cleaning it like normal, spray this on, and then continue to wash as you would. So for clothes, you throw them into the laundry machine, and so on. It's a nice and eco-friendly product too, and it gets out every stain that I've ever had anywhere. It's honestly amazing. And it's currently sitting at $9.99, and if we look at the last 12 months price history once again, you'll see that $9.99 is not a bad price. Sometimes this is upwards of $15 in here, but also over the last 12 months, it's been as low as $6.25. Now that was back over the holidays in 2023, so we can hope that we'll see another $6 price point for the stain remover, but even if it's $7 or $8, you're still getting a really good deal on this. I've tested a bunch of different oil dispensers, oil sprayers, things like that, and finally, earlier this year, I found my favorite one. As you can see, I bought this back in April, and it's been one of my favorite products this year. And that's for a few different reasons. Number one, it fills super easily. The top is nice and open, so it's really easy to pour oil in. Number two, it has a sprayer on the back, so you can push the little tab and spray out oil just like an oil sprayer can that you would normally buy, so you don't have to buy those anymore. And number three, it has this oil pouring functionality, so you can actually open the top entirely and pour out as much oil as you need at a time. I also love that it's made of glass, so it feels really nice. Now, I'm already seeing a discount on this down to $7.99 from $10.99, but that does seem to be a lightning deal for me. But once again, just looking at the price over the last year, it looks like this has pretty consistently been about $7 or $8 since April, with the lowest price saying $5.50 for maybe like 1 day in April. And back in Prime Day in June, it looks like we saw somewhere around $6 as a price point. So honestly, I think if you can get this at $5, $6, $7, somewhere around there, it's a product you're gonna love and use every day. This next one is a product I've been using for over 2 years because when I rented an apartment, I created a bunch of holes in the wall and this helped me fix it. It is literally called the Erase a Hole. It was actually a Shark Tank product at one point, and it fixes holes almost like using chapstick. If you have a hole in your wall, you basically just apply this in a circular motion over that hole, and then you can dust off excess with your hand or wipe it with a wet cloth is what I typically do. Paint over that hole after it dries, and it's pretty much going to fix any small hole that you have. This one's currently sitting at $14.97, but over the last year, this is one of the higher price points it's had. In fact, it is the highest price point we've seen it at. Back in November and December and January and February, this was sitting at $11.89, and that's the price I would try and get this at, $12 or less. Then you know you're getting the best price it's been over the last year. I bought these car trash cans back in February, and they've been my favorite car trash cans that I've had. And honestly, that's because of how seamlessly they fit into your car. You can put them in your cup holder, in your car side door, or you can of course just bring them inside and put them on a desk or something like that. I personally keep them in my car side door because it basically allows me to still use my cup holders but have a trash. They're nice and easy to clean. They also come with liners so you can fill them and easily take them out. And there are many different color options that you can get them in as well. I just have the black one. Now these are already discounted for me from $14.99 to $12.99, but as I was mentioning with the fake deals at the beginning of this video, you can see that this is kind of a fake deal. These haven't been $14.99 since December of 2023, about a year ago. In fact, $12.99 is one of the higher price points that we've seen it over the last 12 months. So hopefully this will drop back down to this $9.87 price that we've seen about once a month over the last year. Maybe it'll even go lower than that. If you currently don't ever clean your washing machine, these tablets are gonna be a savior for you. So these come in a 12-month supply, and I've been using these for probably 2-3 years now, even when I rented an apartment because I wanted that washing machine to stay clean. In fact, in my previous apartment, when we were washing our clothes, we kept getting holes in our clothes from the washing machine, and I'm not entirely sure why, but after we used these cleaners, we stopped getting those holes, so I think something was clogging inside of there and ripping our clothes. So these tablets come individually wrapped, and they're a 12-month supply of them. It comes with 24 of them, and they recommend you use them once every 2 weeks. Now, unless you're doing wash for a family of 4 or more, you probably don't need one every 2 weeks, and once a month is totally fine, so you'll actually have a 2-year supply of these. And to use them, all you have to do is throw them into your washing machine, run it like a regular load with clothes, and then wipe off the soap and extra water that comes afterwards to finish the cleaning. These are already 33% off for me, down from $22 to $15. But once again, we're getting a little bit of a fake deal here, as these have not been $22 at any point in the last year. However, I will say that the $15 we're seeing does look like a good price point because these are typically $19. But the lowest price we've seen these over the last 12 months is $10.99. So if you can pick these up at $11 or even $12, $13, that's where we'll be looking for the best deal on them. Now, next up is this retractable clothesline that's honestly been in use pretty much 24/7 since I moved into my home last October. I bought this shortly after. This nails into the walls on your laundry room or wherever you want a clothesline, and then it pulls out almost 14 feet long. It can hold up to 40 pounds of clothes, and it's really just super easy to use and out of the way when you're not using it. It's currently a couple dollars off from $33 down to $30, and if we take a look over the last year, this is a pretty good price point. The lowest we've seen is $29.45, which is less than $1 below where we currently are at $30 on this. It's usually upwards of $35 or somewhere in this range around $33. So if you can get this at $30 or less, then you're getting an awesome deal on it. Next up, this little bottle is a really fun one. So this little well, you can fill with pretty much anything you want. The main use case would be filling this with alcohol, and then this is going to attach onto a water bottle. It fits perfectly on the Yeti Rambler water bottle, but also a few others. Now inside of the actual water bottle, you'll fill that with mixer, and then you'll fill that little bottle, as I said, with alcohol. The little bottle twists onto the bigger water bottle, and then there's a button on the back of the cap that screws onto the little well. So the cap itself is basically the product here because that screws onto the well, which screws onto your top of your water bottle. Now the button on the back of that cap allows you to choose how much of the alcohol from the little well comes into every sip that you drink. So if you don't push anything down, you're basically just gonna drink mixer. If you push the button all the way down, you're essentially taking a shot of alcohol and anything in between. This is currently sitting at $39.99, and over the last year, this is kind of an average or slightly above average price point for it. It's been as high as $49, but also as low as $29.99. So if you can get this at $30, or maybe even up at $35 if it goes there, that's a good price on this one. Now, one thing I noticed this summer is that no matter how much I ran my AC unit, the vents in the top floor of my home were not getting a lot of the air, so the basement and my main floor were freezing cold and the top floor was still super warm. To fix this, I found these vents that basically replace your old vents. The installation's super easy. You just pull out your current vent and slide this one right into it. And then it does have to plug into the wall, but that's because it has a bunch of technology built into it. As you can kind of see in this photo, there are fans inside of the vent here, and then the screen allows you to control those fans. You can choose how much they're actually blowing, whether they're on or off, and so on. And you can even do this straight from an iPhone app that connects to them through Bluetooth. And the main point of these is that those fans will help bring that air upwards. So they're essentially pulling the air from your vents through that AC vent that you just installed more than the regular air would just flow. Think about the airflow in your room with a fan off versus a fan on. Obviously, with the fan on, you feel more air blowing, and the same thing happens with your AC and even your heating, I've now realized in the winter, with these pulling air through those fans. Now, I have 5 or 6 different vents that I had to replace these in, so they can be a little bit pricey, so hopefully over Black Friday we can get a deal, because normally these are $59.99, and unfortunately over the last year, they've been pretty much the same price point ever since. So if we go anything below $59.99, these are a great deal. If you have problems with your bed sheets falling off, this is a really cool invention. So these little gadgets basically clip on to the corners of your mattress, and by clip on, I mean essentially they just slide into place, and then you pull your top sheet, your fitted sheet, right over top of those pieces and assemble this extra little piece which clips it all together. You're essentially clipping your sheets into those corner pieces that we installed, and that basically locks your sheets in place so that no matter how hard you're pulling on them, they're not going anywhere. Now, it does come in a set of 4, but it's $59.99 for the set of them, but over the last year, these are the highest price point they've ever been. You can see back in June and July, these were $39.99 instead of $59.99, so $20 cheaper, and let's hope over Black Friday we can see that same price drop. I've also tried a bunch of paper towel dispensers over the last couple of years, and this one simply just has to be my favorite. It looks futuristic, and honestly, it is. So you can mount it under your cabinet easily. It basically comes with brackets that you screw into place, and then after sliding it onto the brackets, it dispenses your paper towel. Now, there are a few cool things about this one. For number one, you can see that that's perfectly one sheet of paper towel in the image there, and that's very intentional. When you first put a roll into this, you actually train it for how big a piece of paper towel is with your paper towel roll. So it basically dispenses out a bunch, you rip off one sheet, it pulls all of it back in that you didn't rip, and then it knows how big your paper towel sheets are. And number two, it's fully touchless, so you can wave your hand over it in motion sensors and gives you a paper towel without having to touch anything with your wet or dirty hands. And number three, that same technology that rolled the paper towel back in when we only were trying to teach it, that works at all periods of time. So if you hold your hand there and dispense 3, 4, 5 sheets of paper towel, but you only take one of them, it's gonna roll those extras back in so you can then use them in the future. Pretty cool for not wasting paper towel. Now, this is already discounted $20 from $120 down to $99.99. And over the last year, we're seeing this is a pretty good price point. It actually has been $120 every once in a while. It's $99.99 most of the time. But back in July, we saw it down to $85.99. So if you can get this at $90 or below, which is where we've seen it come to quite a few times, I think that would be a good price point on this. Now, we're jumping up pretty far in price point here for the next one, but if you're looking for a new awesome shower gadget, check this out. So this thing will replace your current shower head and essentially turn it into 2 shower heads instead of 1. Now, it might look kind of complicated, but the assembly is actually super easy. You basically just twist off your current shower head, twist this one on, and then this long bar expands open based on the length of your shower. The piece on the left there sits against your wall on the opposite side of your shower, and the second shower head is ready. At any point, you can turn on one or both of the shower heads, and each of the shower heads also has 3 different shower modes built into it. You can see I've been using this since April and I absolutely love having the extra shower head. Now it's currently $299, but that's actually the highest price point it's been over the last year. You can see it used to be down at $249 for a very long time. Now hopefully we get a deal that's even better than $249, but if you can get it back at that low price point, then I think it's a good deal as it's the lowest price it's ever been. I think one of my favorite luxuries is owning your own hot tub, and I think it's incredibly underrated. Now professional hot tubs are really expensive. You can get hot tubs at $10,000 or sometimes even more than that. So for me, this has been the perfect starter hot tub. It's under $600, and to set it up, it basically just inflates. So it comes nice and small, it inflates in under 5 minutes, and then you can just fill it up with water and start heating it. It heats to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, which if you're not familiar is really nice and hot for a hot tub. You pretty much wouldn't want any hotter than that for more than 10 minutes. Now I will say it claims that you can fit 4 to 6 people in here. I think if you try to fit 6 people in it, it's going to be very, very tight, but 4 people is relatively comfortable. This is currently sitting at about $575, and over the last year, this is about the average price point that it's been. However, back in April, we're seeing it was $440 at some point. Now, some of the other price drops on this look like they were somewhere around $500 or so, so if you can get this at $500 or less, hopefully back down at $440, then I think you're getting a great deal on this one. And for our last product, if you ever lose your power, this is a great one to have handy. And it's going to be this portable power station that comes with a solar panel. You can see just the sun will power this thing in anywhere from 2 to 3 hours depending on how strong the sun is. Or of course you can just charge it up yourself in about 1 to 2 hours depending on your outlet. And once it's charged, this graphic gives you a great representation of what you can use it for and how long you can use it for. So for example, you can charge your iPhone 143 times with this when it's fully charged. You can run your router for almost 100 hours, so if your power goes out for a couple days, your internet's still running. Your fridge for 14 hours, and so on. It's currently over $1,000 off already, from $2,500 down to $1,339, and we can see that that $2,500 price point is actually real. This is a true extreme discount on this product. Most of the time this is $2,500. Now it does come down below $1,800, probably around $1,700. Looks like about once a month, but we've never seen this at $1,339. So if you can get it at this current price point, it's an absolute steal. If you grab any of these deals, please let me know in the comments. It makes my day knowing that you guys saved some money on things that you wanted to purchase that made your life better in some sort of way. And if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps support the page so much and it won't cost you anything. And it allows me to keep creating videos to help you save more money. So it's really just a win-win overall.